Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John. Today I'm continuing my series of the top albums of a specific year, and this year will be 1972. A lot of great albums this year. I'll be focused on albums that were influential on like the evolution of heavy metal. And there will be some classic rock albums as well by some big names. Now, I will be including a few new bands I haven't mentioned yet in my series, and there will be some familiar favorites. So, also, all of these albums will be celebrating 50 years in 2022. So, expect full reviews of all of these albums when their anniversaries arrive. And there are links to the previous videos in the video description. So, if you missed any, you can open that up and check it out. And these will also be in the order of release. So, let me just get right into it. First album is Blue Oyster Cult, the self-titled, released on January 16th, 1972. This is their debut album. Really hard to believe that this band is 50 years old. Kind of more of a hard rock album, has lots of great songs. We have Before the Kiss, a Red Cap. This song is cool, has like a hard rock guitar, nice jazzy beat, pretty cool bass line in it on. My favorite song is Cities on Flame with Rock and Roll. This one has a really heavy riff in the intro, and this song can be considered like proto-metal. And the song also has a classic rock feel. So it's a really great debut. I think Blue Oyster Cult were kind of like a heavier band in the beginning. Next is Scorpions with Lonesome Crow, released February 9th, 1972. Another one, hard to believe, Scorpions are 50 years old. So this one has Klaus Meine, Rudolf Schenker, and Michael Schenker. So back then, Scorpions were more of a psychedelic rock band. You know, there are some elements of hard rock and metal in this album as well. Lots of good songs. So I like the song I'm Going Mad. This one has a late 60s psychedelic rock feel, has some hard rock guitars and some choir vocals. Another good song is called In Search of Peace of Mind, and this one was re-recorded on the latest Michael Schenker Group album. It's a pretty mellow rocker. It has Michael Schenker wrote it when he was like a teenager, I believe. And really good album. Next is Thick as a Brick by Jethro, released March 3rd, 1972. This is a progressive concept album, and they did it as kind of like a joke. You know, they have the album cover opens up like a newspaper, and the album has like 2 songs, one for each side, and the songs are like 22 minutes long each. Now, some of the reissues of this album has like songs that are like broken down in the track listing. So we have songs like Really Don't Mind and The Poet and the Painter, but on the original album, it was just basically Thick as a Brick Part 1 and Thick as a Brick Part 2. This has more of a progressive rock sound, you know, as opposed to the hard rock style of the previous album, Aqualung, but this is one of their stronger albums. Next is Deep Purple with Machine Head, released March 25th, 1972. Really awesome album. This is one that's very influential on heavy metal. Most popular song is Smoke on the Water, probably like the first riff that you learned if you started playing guitar. This one has some of their heavier songs like Highway Star and Space Truckin'. And these are songs that have been covered by metal bands over the years. I know Metal Church did. I believe it was Highway Star. And some of the other deep cuts are pretty good. We got Lazy, Maybe I'm a Leo, Pictures of Home, really great songs, and really great guitar playing by Richie Blackmore on those songs. And just an awesome, like 10 out of 10 album, this one. Next is Exile on Main Street by the Rolling Stones, released May 12th, 1972. One of those Rolling Stones albums that like a lot of fans love it, and also an album that doesn't have really a lot of like radio hits. I guess you can compare it to an album like Powerage by AC/DC. It's just one of those like fan favorites. It's a double album. The sound is blues rock, but they do kick it up a notch. So you hear lots of harmonica, some saxophone, some piano, backup singers. It just has a very like a big sound, but it's just a very bluesy sound. Probably the most recognizable song is Tumbling Dice. That one has a very memorable chorus. Other songs like Sweet Virginia, there's a blues song. Kind of reminds me of like a Neil Young type of song. Soul Survivor, pretty cool, has some bluesy guitar riffs in that one. Sweet Black Angel, really cool southern, like swampy blues sound in that one. Next is Uriah Heep with Demons and Wizards, released May 19th, 1972. And this is an album that has influenced many metal bands, can be considered maybe one of the earliest examples of power metal. You know, there's a band out now called Demons and Wizards. I think they're not around anymore because it had the guy from Oyster who was arrested. But Lots of great songs. We have Traveler in Time, really some heavy riffs, has some prog rock sound to it as well. Easy Living, that's a very catchy song, really cool keyboard and guitar sound. Rainbow Demon, really cool song, very heavy song, has some really great riffs in it. And I just like it just because of the name, Rainbow Demon. How can you not like that song? Next is Pink Floyd, Obscured by Clouds, released June 2nd, 1972. This is an underrated album. It's like the one released before Dark Side of the Moon, so it kind of gets overshadowed by that sometimes. This one has like more like shorter songs, they're like 3 and 4 minute songs. Title track is very good. It's an instrumental with futuristic keyboard sounds, burning bridges. Really cool, classic Pink Floyd style, kind of like their earlier work. The song The Gold, It's in the... Really cool song, kind of like a little grungy, and it reminds me of like the Foo Fighters, but like 25 years prior. You gotta listen to it. And Childhood End, really classic song, but it kind of sounds more like Pink Floyd of like the 80s or 90s. And it's a song with David Gilmour on vocals. So this is a really cool, underrated album. Next is Alice Cooper with School's Out, released June 1972. So this one came out after 2 great albums, from the previous year. It's a good album, but kind of like a step down from the previous 2, which were Love It to Death and Killer. So it has the title track, probably their most recognizable song out of all of their songs. It has like a West Side Story kind of theme to a lot of songs. It has Gutter Cat versus the Jets, or Gutter Cat and the Jets. And other great song, Public Animal No. 1. This one has a very classic Alice Cooper sound, and it's a short album, like 36 minutes long, but it's pretty good. Next is Elf, the self-titled album, released August 1972. This one has Ronnie James Dio, but on the album he went by his full name of Ronald Padavona. I think he just wanted to have the family name on one of his albums. So this band is like a cross between like the Rolling Stones and Styx. It's mostly like a blues-based band, but it has some like hard rock and prog rock influence. Some good songs. We got Hoochie Coochie Lady, has a blues piano, has some prog rock influence as well. Nevermore, another good song, has some blues and prog rock, influence. I'm Coming Back for You, kind of like a hard rock song. Reminds you a little of like early Kiss. Gambler, Gambler, another good one. Kind of reminds me a little of like Deep Purple. So if you're a fan of Ronnie James Dio, check it out. Really a great album and a great band. And last, but definitely not least, Black Sabbath Volume 4, released September 25th, 1972. Really great heavy metal album, very ahead of its time. The best songs are Supernaut, really great riff by Tony Iommi, and that one, Snowblind. This is a really great heavy song. They're talking about like the cocaine use, and the song Changes, really a great song, one of their most popular ballads. Now, a really great deep cut is called Cornucopia, very heavy doom metal. I really love that one. There's an instrumental called FX, kind of annoying. That's the one that I usually skip. But St. Vitus Dance and Under the Sun, really cool, underrated songs. And on those songs that kind of have a sound, you kind of hear more of that sound where they bring on the next album, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. So really great album overall. So that's all. Let me know in the comments what you thought. So tomorrow is the 31st, so I'll be doing my end of the year video with Rockers We Lost in 2021. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. See you all in the next one.